When did you guys feel it in your bones that you wanted to be filmmakers? Or when did you discover that filmmaking was something that you liked?
First time I ever watched Reservoir Dogs.
Fair enough.
With me, I would have to go. I mean, wait, say the question again specifically.
When did you feel it in your bones that you wanted to make movies?
There were certain moments where it had to take a lot of inspiration. Like I mentioned before, like Jurassic Park, Titanic, Jaws, Lost, like the whole show of Lost. Yeah.
I'm addicted to that show now. I just finished season 1.
I converted him. I converted him.
If there's a cult on this island, then I'm probably gonna cosplay as one of these characters at some point.
Oh no, I can't spoil anything. You just started the second season.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, like I don't know, like just, there's always like there's tons of inspirations, not even just movies, just like the studies of Joseph Campbell was a big influence, and like.
Not because of Star Wars?
No, just the Joseph Campbell Hero's Journey, like his book, Hero with a Thousand Faces was like it was deep and it was very challenging to get through that book.
I guess so. To answer, when I discovered I want to make movies, and it's gonna pivot off to this. When I was a kid, I loved movies, but I didn't actually. As a kid, if anyone ever asked me, "Do you want to make movies? Do you want to be a filmmaker?" I would always say, no, you have to be good to be a filmmaker. I didn't think I was good, honestly, back then. But long story short, I grow up, I become a teenager, I go into a ComTech class, and what's that all about? Making movies. So, and then
yours is pretty similar to mine, actually.
And then that led to Toronto Film School, and then I'm where I am today.
I feel like I gave the shortest answer, so I should also extrapolate.
That's okay.
I should also extrapolate.
That's okay.
I'm trying to fucking talk here. God damn fucking shit, man.
Sorry.
I was trying to get to my point. Okay. So, YouTube played a big part of it. It's okay, Evan. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the system. But
fuck the system.
The system is just... It's not designed for us, bro.
You can't trust the system!
Us three white guys.
Oh, God.
That's so...
That's so bad.
Bro is what sells the joke.
Yeah, but... So, I have YouTube to thank for a lot of this, because I watched a lot of people like Ed's World and all that, and it's like, I want to start a YouTube channel. And from doing a lot of videos, which I'll probably talk about later on this podcast, they're still up there online, my God. That's what got me interested in like stop motion animation, shooting things in front of a camera, acting, and all that. Yeah, that's where the start came. That's where I thought it would be nice.
Well, that was actually. I'm glad you. I really should have just shut the fuck up. I'm sorry, but so this is what I.
He said it. He said it. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I'm lost.
It's a joke.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Cody. Speaking of Lost portrayed by Toy Story. I'm lost. I'm lost on an island.
Is there a Toy Story movie where they're on a tropical island?
No, that's Toy Story. That's the
short.
That was a short.
Yeah. I remember that one.
But anyway, so
there you go.
The question I was going to ask was, when did you guys discover the video camera, and when did you want to use it?
Right. So yeah, we're talking about home movies. I don't think we even did an introduction.
This is another one of those off-book talk
you
into
see
the
the
mic
thumbnail, you click the link, you see the title up in there.
Sure.
You're getting yourself into, all right?
So yeah, home movies, all of our personal experiences with making.
That's what I'm getting at.
Movies and all that.
Oh, and in case I haven't done the obligatory, welcome to So to Speak.
Yeah,
yada
that's
yada
right.
yada.
Yeah.
You know who we are, and if you don't know who we are by now, kiss it. Go back and watch our previous episodes. We introduce ourselves all the time.
Oh, damn. We were bold now.
Holy shit, we're angry today.
Well, growing up, like, we only had, like, one video camera in our household. It was actually a video camera that my Nana won at bingo.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
It was a JVC like tape, early '90s kind of camera. Where
Wow.
the one where you had to take like one little tape and put it inside of an actual VHS tape in order to play it.
So your grandma was
Like-
a stereotypical grandma. She played bingo.
Oh yeah, well,
Cool.
Yeah, she played bingo.
Uh,
She won tons of stuff. She won a chair that I actually still have at my apartment.
Oh, nice.
It's a chair that reclines and there's like dogs and a duck engraved in it.
Yeah.
It's like stitched onto it. It's a weird random design. She won one of those DVD and VHS combo machines back when that was a trend.
Yeah.
She won tons of shit. Yeah.
Yep.
So when she won this JVC camera, like the only kind of footage we have growing up of just like we had like 2 Christmases we recorded, you know, like
Yeah.
of me as a kid, like in 97, like I can't actually find this footage actually, but I have the 98 Christmas of just me
Yeah.
opening up toys and all that and Easter or whatever. But then when I realized that I loved movies, I loved watching movies, it took a while for me to actually like realize like can I actually make one, because I need more than just to say I want to make movies, right? There needs to be some testing ground. I need to sort of like actually go out and shoot something, right? But like I never had a video camera. The only one that was around was this camera. So like, you know, early stuff, you know, because I was kind of into Jackass when I was like 11 or 12, you know, like I did.
Hi, I'm Cody McDonald. Welcome to Jackass.
Welcome to Dumbass.
Hello, my beautiful audience. This is water hose enema.
Yeah, oh god. Wow, you're going right to like the ballsy, iconic bit that I did. Oh, I did so much stupid shit.
I want to watch this.
That's a whole fucking conversation. It's all like.
Do you still have that stuff or no?
Some, but it's buried somewhere. But no, it's all good. We'll save that for another time. But really, when it took a while for me to actually build confidence to actually like write stories. Like I always thought like I was gonna do some sort of, you know, I was the type of guy that wanted to master the art in doing a creature feature in the woods. Oh my god, how revolutionary. No one's ever done that before, right? Oh my god. Like I tried to do so many attempts on a creature feature in the woods.
That's neat.
Because like my backyard at home, like we have 2 acres of actually like our yard, but then way past that is like this little like it's not there anymore. They dug it up because they had to extend a railroad out there. But there used to be like not a forest, but it kind of looked like a forest if you're just in there for momentarily. But it looks almost like a creek, forest, swamp kind of area. So I shot a bunch of stuff out there. We made stuff up as we went along, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But until I actually got my first camera was in 2006. It was Christmas of 2006. I got a JVC like tape camera, but it was like a lot smaller. But I had to like convert the tape from using this like coax wire, kind of similar to what you have hooked up on the mic right now to the computer, to like literally like rip the tape from that to on the computer. And I edited on the. Are you ready for the masterful Windows Movie Maker?
Yay! The original film school.
I know, isn't it great?
Thank you, Bill Gates, for taking us to school before we actually went to school.
As a side note, as the editor, so to speak, I wonder what it would be like to go back to Movie Maker and try to make a so to speak episode.
You know what's frustrating about it is that I tried to edit like. I try to edit the way that we edit today with like a lot of like with timelines you have like a lot of layers. You can create as many layers as you want with video or with audio, right?
Oh, yeah.
But for Windows Movie Maker,
there's no layers.
There's no layers. All you have is music and video or / picture.
You can add subtitles, but
here's the thing that I used to do, and it was stupid what I used to do. I would edit the film and then I would put in the sound effects first and layer that on the music part. I would export that and then I'd put it back into the fucking timeline, and then I'd add the music later. But what are you sacrificing? The video quality.
Yeah, because it gets crushed.
Yeah, it gets crushed. It gets corrupted a bit. It gets distorted the amount of times that you start to like, you know. So I was like trying to like perfect like just random shit. Like I had the first YouTube channel like with a friend of mine from grade school, but like it's been closed. Like we just did like a lot of dumb shit, like just like make up movies as we went along, kind of stuff. Like,
oh, so you started shooting without finished scripts?
no, like we literally would just like half-ass everything and like just make it up as we went
That's
along.
cool.
Like but what was funny is an old friend of mine, John, had like a Sony digital camera, so we had two cameras going sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Problem is, they're both drastically different qualities.
Yeah.
And we try to make like, you know, a shot reverse shot thing, and like it just doesn't look good at all, to the point where like, no, we can't do this. We have to shoot on either one and
Yeah.
just stick to that. Have a consistent
Okay,
look.
Tommy Wiseau.
Well, no, I would have pulled a Tommy Wiseau. I was actually saying, no, this doesn't look consistent.
Yeah, you know how to say screw it.
Yeah, so like, I mean, there's like specific things that like I did, but like I'll let you guys before I'll continue later. But like that's the cutoff point at a time in my life where like before I actually started to like write stuff out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I'll let you guys kind of take the reins a bit.
Well, I was always inspired by stuff like Smosh and shit like that, or Angry Video Game Nerd. Where it's like I wanted to make bits.
There's
So
a bit of that too. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and I also, because I watch so much Ed's World, I would often use. You ever try to animate with Windows Movie Maker?
No.
Where you take Windows Paint.
Yes, I did that.
And you draw shit on paint.
I did that actually, and I called it The Show.
The Show.
It was called The Show. Our guy comes in, he's like, "Hey, do you wanna go hang out with me?" No, and then he just like throws soda at him. He's like, "Why would you do that?" It's like, because you were mean to me or whatever. And then like he just picks him up and just like goes outside and throws him into the pool, and it's so stilted and so jerky.
Yeah, I'm sure it looks great.
I did the exact same thing with Windows Paint.
My first Windows Movie Maker Paint, it was called oh my god, it was called A Bad Night for a Stick Figure, and I still have it. It's basically this guy's like, it's like riding a horse that he stole. It rides off a cliff. It falls to his death. The guy survives the landing somehow. He's lost in the woods. He has to pee. He's gonna die, and then he sees a hotel right next to him, which is a bit right out of Family Guy. It's like, oh, there's a hotel, but then he won't be allowed to be let into the hotel, so he's just like, damn it. And he finds a pipe from Mario. He takes a massive shit inside the pipe because he's got nowhere else to go. Then Mario sticks his head out of the pipe. It's like, oh, who did that?
Do you have this?
I do. I'll have to send it to you. Oh, and the whole thing's set to Song 2 by Blur.
Oh, of course.
Just because it's so fucking punk.
That's
and then and he's like, Mario, I'm fucking hungry. Can I eat something? He's like, I have a mushroom. Great. He eats the mushroom, grows to the size of Godzilla, chases Mario, grabs him, bites his head off, and he's like, yay! And then someone snipes him with a gun, and he shrinks back down. He's like, damn it! That's it.
Wow.
It was an odyssey to say the least. But then another video I made, this is the only other paint video I'm going to talk about because it's stupid as too. Everyone has a random sense of humor when you're in like 12 or 14.
Sure.
So it's like this guy making a documentary about how amazing cheese pizza is. Okay. And so the problem is this director is having a massive conflict of interest with the editor. I guess it's the same editor who edited the Ghostbusters 2016 video because he just hates this guy and he keeps making these horrible editing choices within. So it's almost meta in a way. But then the director, by the end of it, gets so fucking angry that he shoots the editor. He lays in a pile of blood, and the the guy and the actor is like talking to the documentary. He's just like mortified, and the cameraman doesn't give a shit. He's just like, well, there goes our season finale.
So you made this all in Paint?
And Movie Maker,
what the fuck? That's way more ambitious.
I mean, it's not animated. It's not animated whatsoever. It's just like I drew the words on the frame.
Oh, you actually drew the words.
Yeah.
I think I did too, actually. I can't remember.
Oh, and the whole video was set to Chicken Stew by System of a Down.
Wow, pizza pie! Pizza pie!
Yeah.
Pepperoni and green peppers, mushrooms, olives, chives.
What about you, Evan?
What, you ever do anything like that, Evan?
What's my story? Well, in the beginning, there was... I'm not going to be so holy about that.
You made machinima, actually. That was your thing.
Oh, no. You're triggering him.
He's shaking.
Oh, dude, I'm like shivering in my like I was very wish-washy and like I didn't want to get into specific shorts that I did because I'm so fucking embarrassed of my early.
In all
stuff.
seriousness,
I'm really embarrassed.
You want to talk about? Okay, I hope I can give like some cathartic stuff because you guys may have had some embarrassing like early movie making moments back when you were kids. I don't think you listen to what I did. I will tell you. So basically, so to me, video cameras as a kid, as a kid, like 9 to 12 years old, video cameras were the coolest thing ever. My family didn't own one, so it just wasn't in the cards. Like they seemed. I grew up middle class, so the only way I could ever experience a video camera is if
Like
I
a
would
friend.
go over to a friend's house, and I distinctly remember a couple things. My friends Daniel and Brandon at the end of our right before summer vacation, we did a video project for French class where we cooked chocolate cake, and we had to literally write the whole script in French. We had to rehearse our lines. Daniel's dad directed us, and like he literally was calling himself, "I am the director, I am the editor, and I'm the producer." So
you got my fiance's dad.
yeah, no, he's yeah, no, this guy was great. So anyways, back in the day, I just seeing yourself on the screen, like not to sound like a narcissistic pighead or whatever, but it's like there's something cool about it. Although I always hated the way my voice sounded.
Dude, I was gonna bring that up. Did you guys hate your voices when you first started hearing it?
Yeah, I didn't expect my voice to be
My
so
voice
low.
was so okay. My voice was so annoying. Like I'm not doing.
I sound like this. Like it was just so like I'm Cody McDonald.
Lyle, I'm making Lyle versus Exile. Yeah.
It's funny when I hear things that I
That's my
did.
YouTube channel.
When I hear things I did in high school, I actually sound similar to how I sound now, and that's like over 10 years ago. So I'm like, did that my voice when I hit puberty was that it? Like,
When I
didn't progress.
My voice went through several phases. Like I had my voice when I was 5 to 12 years old, and then around puberty, my voice dropped a little, and then it got a lot deeper once I left high school.
Well, I think that's like every guy.
Like
everyone.
That's every guy.
Okay, so and the only other memory I had with a video camera was at Josh's 15th birthday party. After we saw Spider-Man 3, we all went back to his house, and his dad had a video camera, and we just decided to shoot. We were all in a good mood after seeing the movie, so so we decided
Spider-Man 3?
Yes, 3.
Okay, wow.
So no,
the only few people that were in a good mood after that.
We liked it. We were. Josh and I will tell you about how like we thought the big showdown between Harry and Peter and the Sandman and Venom. We thought that was awesome. Granted, today
it's so quaint
to avoid this turning into a review of Spider-Man 3. Cody, I know you want to do a pop talk on that at some point. I will join you.
But I know I don't.
I thought you said at the end of your Spider-Man 2 video you want to do a pop talk on Spider-Man 3 or talk about it.
I never said that.
Okay, well,
I haven't seen that episode.
Well,
yet.
We're talking about this now. So we were riding. I didn't initially when I walked out of Spider-Man 3 for the first time. I didn't like the last scene of the movie. I didn't like how it ended, but at the same time, I wish I could have seen more Venom. But at the time, I was satisfied. But I wish I could have seen more Venom. Now that I look back on it, but Josh's dad. Hey, where is Josh? Josh, are you here? No. He's busy settling to married life. I don't blame him.
Oh, I thought you were doing an impression of his dad.
No, so anyways, oh no. So Josh's dad just pulled out a video camera, and even though like we didn't really have a script, Josh had this buddy of his. I think his name was Jack. Yeah, no, Jack,
and Evan.
Josh had a friend named Jack, and Jack took it upon himself to kind of direct us and like just do a bunch of kooky shit. And I don't even remember what we filmed. We just did a bunch of stuff like dicking around in Josh's basement.
Did you end up watching the footage after?
No, I've never seen what became of this.
Oh.
But in the year 2006, 3 things happened to me. My parents gave me a digital camera for taking pictures as my grade 8 graduation present. It took me a few months. I was taking pictures like everywhere I went. I was a bit of a photo nut. Like before I loved making videos, I loved taking pictures. I was that geeky. I was kind of like the Peter Parker of my friends, where like I want to take pictures of everything, even if on shitty disposable cameras where you can't light properly and you can't composite.
I was like that with but videotaping.
Oh,
people.
okay.
I was that obnoxious friend that always shoved a video camera into friends' faces, which is probably why I don't. I probably drifted away from a lot of.
So
people
your
growing up.
documentary aspirations kind of died a long time ago.
Oh, it did. I said, oh, there's a chance for me to be a videographer once I got out of film school. Oh, a chance to be a videographer at weddings and all this stuff, and I said, nope. I lost people in my life because of that. Fuck that.
Oh my god.
Make a living off of that? I'd have to be crazy.
I remember a lot of the plots to my early videos were just cliche as fuck.
So
Oh, mine too. But sorry, you were going.
yeah,
you were
so
going
no,
on.
it's okay. One of the things, three discoveries I made in the year 2006. I'm given my own digital camera. It took me a few months, but I eventually discovered that my camera had a video feature.
I knew you were
Which
gonna
means
say that.
once I
had a feeling he was going for that when you're like, I made a discovery. I was like, oh no, he realized that his fucking
my
camera,
digital camera had
you
video.
You could change it to video.
And then once that happened, the rest is history. No. Before you say the rest is history, I just being a high school student, like a high school a minor niner as they call them.
Yeah.
I discovered YouTube.com.
Oh,
and
what
then
is this?
This was in 2006.
Oh, is it that site that has Evolution of Dance on it? What's this?
Back in the day,
Numa guy?
I remember the first YouTube video I ever watched in my life.
Oh, yeah,
what was it?
Share this.
It was. I have tried to find it. It's sad. It was taken down years ago, but at the time, it was called Silent Force One. Air Force One was mine and Brandon Glass's favorite action movie back then. So, a buddy of mine, I was talking about Air Force One, and a buddy of mine in high school was like, "Oh, Evan, if you like Air Force One, you'll probably like this video," and it's called Silent Force One, where it's basically the movie, a 2-minute parody, the movie Air Force One, but it's in black and white footage with piano. It's basically Air Force One in a silent film.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, no, like they showed Gary Oldman shooting people in the hallway of the plane, and then he screams, and then it cuts to the black text, "No running in the halls," and then right before Harrison Ford chucks Gary Oldman, the text, "Get off my plane," and he throws him off. But by the way, for those of you who haven't seen, "Get off my plane" was like the Arnold Schwarzenegger catchphrase of that action movie.
Yeah. Cody, what was your first YouTube video?
It was one I think I showed you guys actually. It was the first my god, I don't know if this was the exact first video that I watched on YouTube, but it's the first belly laugh of a video. It's called Fat Kid Paintball.
Oh god.
It's the one where it's just like
because body shaming was totally acceptable back in the day.
It really was.
It was some guy, he was doing like a Crocodile Dundee impression, or not a Crocodile Dundee. Sorry, what's the guy? Steve Irwin. What's his name?
Steve Irwin.
No,
Paul Hogan.
Paul Hogan was the crocodile.
Steve Irwin was the crocodile hunter.
Crocodile Dundee was Paul Hogan.
Okay, sorry, Crocodile Hunter, the Steve Irwin. He's playing that type like, hello, I'm in the Croc's Lake. I'm going to be fighting. And off camera, the friends are fucking with him. They're shooting with paintballs, and he's just like, fuck, you fucking assholes. He's like, you fucking bitch. Just screaming at the top of his lungs, but so high pitched. I just remember laughing so hard at this.
Yeah, I think my first YouTube video was this little Newgrounds animation. It's called The Evil Strawberry, where it's like this animated. It's like a shitty cartoon, but it's like this strawberry is just sitting on a table, and a big baby comes over. He's like, "You want the strawberry? You can't have it." And this kid who's clearly recording. There's some guy recording a kid, I guess, with a fucking terrible microphone. It's like, I'm not stupid.
Oh my god!
Squishes a strawberry. Oh my god!
And then once I discovered YouTube, that opened up a whole world of like what was out there. And then in the year 2007, I eventually got the balls to make my own content. The first video I ever uploaded to YouTube was actually I played audio of a phone. It was called The Angry Call. There's still a video in circulation on YouTube called the angry caller. Have you seen the video where it starts off with a text saying some calls may be recorded or monitored for training purposes,
Yeah.
and it's like this British telecom phone telemarketer calls this guy, and the guy's like, "We pay the fucking bills now. Get the fuck off my phone line. Do you understand?
I told you
To go and fuck off. Do you
Holy
comprehend?"
I remember that as if it was yesterday. I watched that so much. Put this fucking phone call up your pussy ass.
And damn it, we're just gonna do the whole. So
Oh my
here's what
God,
I did.
that brought me back. That was so funny.
I took my camera and I filmed, and I got my brother to hit record, and he filmed me. I reenacted the guy screaming, "Don't!" And I am truly sorry, but these videos I speak of were long destroyed in a hard drive crash, so you're never going to be able to see this.
We're not showing any of this.
You're just going to have to imagine.
Oh, I can imagine.
No, like, picture me with my hair twice as long as it is now, and my voice, like, prepubescent, practically. I was 15.
Dude, it's so funny that you say 2006 was when you got your camera, and then 2007 you started doing your own content. The same shit, same thing as me. My timeline it's exactly the same.
Do you feel like the three of us are, like, variants of the same person, but we found each other in the same universe? Like, I'm getting into everything everywhere all at once, so what if, like, we're all Lyle, or we're all Cody, or we're all Evan? It's like, I'm Lyle 1, Lyle 2, Lyle 3. I love you guys.
Oh my God, it's been 10 minutes since your Spider-Man reference.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
hey, I said everything everywhere all at once before I said No Way Home.
Oh, okay. You pleased the hipster side of me.
Yeah.
A24 side.
Yeah. It's so funny you say that, because like 2007, I started to upload our stuff to YouTube. Our channel was called Def TV. Because we had a oh my God. Yeah.
How did you come up with that name?
Hey, now that I'm like feeling more comfortable, whatever, I'll just like try to layer things out. It's like I hung out with a group of friends in grade school, and kind of led its way a little bit into grade 9 in high school, but that was the cutoff point. I kind of just drifted apart. We had our own slang sometimes. Usually, like when we say yeah, like we go def, as in like definitely, like def.
Oh, okay. That's because your videos
when
were so fucking loud.
Yeah. I was in a friends group.
Well, they were.
I was in a friends group where we all had the same dumb slang, and I wasn't really in on it. I thought it was stupid, but I was like, but one of the things that my friends in this group used to say all the time was mucho, like mucho, like, oh my God,
no.
It was dumb, and they butchered the context of it too. It was like, if I said, "Oh, I can't come out to party with you guys tonight. I have work." Mucho, like, you're a pussy. Mucho pussy. Like,
what? That's not even what it means in Spanish.
That's what I was telling them! They kept saying it anyway!
Mucho's supposed to mean a lot.
My point exactly! Oh my God, why didn't I have you as my friend back in 2011?
Hey, mucho pussy means you got a lot of pussy.
In your face, B-Man, Mike, Josh, and Andrew.
So what did you do on your YouTube channel, Cody?
Well, yeah, Def TV, like definitely television, as it whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
It was just like,
was it though?
Like we had like Def minutes where we would just we literally would just turn on the camera, and I'd be like, "Go, John," and he would just do or say the first thing that came to mind, like it just random little bits, whatever. Those were our little segments that we put in between. But when we started uploading like shorts, as I said, like the creature feature stuff, we had one called Creeper in the Woods, where it was just me and John going in the woods, like making up our dialogue as we go online, like, what was that noise? What was that? What was that? And then we're like, oh my God, we see something over there. And it's me playing another person with like my shirt up like a fucking cornholio. Like literally the back of my shirt pulled up to the back of my head. And I'm like, I'm a creeper, whatever. And then we made another movie called Hunters and the Dog. And this was with an old friend of mine named Sam. John wasn't there. Again, we go in the woods and we have like squirt guns as like our weapons, whatever. We're like, there's a gun, and then my sister had at this time this giant Bernese stuffed animal dog. It was a big dog, right?
Aw.
And we use that as the monster. Where off camera they just threw this fucking like this dog on me. And like imagine me with like a high pitched voice going, "What the fuck?" And then it starts attacking me. And then they come in, like my friend comes in and is like, "Oh my god, Cody, I need to save you." He throws this like Nerf gun, like fucking like it was like a football but with like a tail on the end of it, like a rocket. He tries to throw it at the monster, but I got the monster off of me, then it hits me, and I started like dying, like ah! Like I literally sound like Grandpa Simpson. It was so weird. I was just trying to go like, "Oh, I'm dying, you Sam," and I'm like, "Kill the dog." I sound like Grandpa Simpson. It was so funny.
I need to go lay down.
And he's like, "Oh," he picks up the gun and he shoots the dog, and it just launches this grenade. And he goes, "What the fuck? I had a grenade launcher this whole time," and then you just hear, like I did the sound effect. It's just that everyone blew up at the end. That was it.
Oh man, that's awesome.
There's one, probably this is our masterpiece. It was called The Exorcism of Cody Taylor.
Oh, no.
Where we had another friend. Oh, I don't mean to name drop his whole name, but whatever. We had another friend named Cody as well.
Wow.
Cool.
And I played this priest. I just wore a black t-shirt and put it inside out and flipped it around to where the tag looked like the white collar.
Yeah.
I for some reason I'm knocking on the door to this house, like Exorcist, like like the outside of the house, but I'm coming in through the bathroom. I'm in the bathroom. I knock on the door in the bathroom, and they answer the door, and I'm in the bathroom, and I'm like, "I'm here for the exorcism." That's literally my line. I'm here for the exorcism. That's stellar dialogue. And I go in, and they're like, "Oh, my son, he's like possessed. He's on the bed." And it's just our friend Cody on the bed, just like.
I'm just picturing Cody like this wide shot. You're in this big empty white room. And there's a bed in the corner, but you two just walking through it.
It's just
There's
my bedroom.
son.
It was just my bedroom. The sheets are all ripped off. He's just on the bed.
No. It's like the cameraman standing in the corner. He's pointing. You're walking through the door. My son is possessed, and then he just pans over, and then he's like,
and they're like, "What happened to my son? How did this all start?" And they're like, "The demons!" And they point in the closet.
Demons or
the demons? And we're like, "What, the demons?" We open up the closet, and there's just more of our friends in there, like demons, going like, blah, 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 blah. And then I kill the Cody character, and the demons come going, "What have you done to our son? No!" And then they grab me and they throw me down the stairs, like it's all an Exorcist homage. But I'm literally holding on to the handrail as I'm falling down.
Oh my god! I did that too.
Pretending that I'm falling, I'm like, ah, like just falling, and I die. And we cut this scene out, but the demons go, "All right, our son died. Let's make another one." And then the door slams.
Wow.
and then when we got this on camera, we literally just like opened the door, and there's just us all dry humping on the bed. Like it's so stupid. But then the last shot, it's so striking, and it's fucking hilarious. It's me on like the bottom of the stairs, dead, and then the camera zooms in, like we're on the top of the stairs, and it starts to zoom in, and the lights start flickering, and then all of a sudden I start going. And the camera's shaking, it's all disoriented, and it says "to be continued" in that great movie maker font with the push in, but I spelled continued wrong.
That's glorious.
So that's just like that era, like that was our masterpiece. There's one that we did where it was called The Druggie, where we're just cops. We just bang on the door of this place. Like, "Open up! It's the police!" And then it's him just doing drugs, and we just we just kick the door open. That's when I discovered editing. It's like we barge in the door, and then we cut to the inside of us just like opening the door. That's when I first discovered like editing. Like, oh, you edit on the action.
I'm glad you brought that up
and
because
reaction. It's like me just kind of discovering little things about editing.
I haven't disclosed it yet, but I was gonna. That's a great segue into how I discovered editing because you're gonna laugh at this.
Yeah.
Like, you want to hear some really embarrassing shit?
Sure.
So you may have liked my YouTube, the first video I ever told you about that I uploaded to YouTube, where I reenacted the angry caller.
Yeah.
So what I did was my go-to like movies to watch on YouTube after a shitty day at school were either MVMs or funny videos. And MVMs really inspired me because it's like, oh, this movie I liked, a song that I like, put them together. Oh my god, like I really like this.
There was a lot of that back in the day.
They're not popular anymore.
Because the copyright's ridiculous.
No,
you know?
not only that, but I feel not only is the copyright ridiculous, but like it's kind of gone out of fashion. So what happened? But back in the day, what I would do was, okay, I was a total fucking hack. Here's what I would do. I would record a montage like that. I would see a montage on YouTube. I would mute the audio, play a song that I also thought could go with it. Then I would put my camera up against the screen of my mom's computer, which I didn't have a laptop until later.
Oh.
But this is what I did. I know you want to talk about embarrassing. This is what I did, and then I would put a pair of earphones over the digital camera, hit record, blast the song, and I was recording off of the screen. And
Oh, that's so complex. That's complex in like a.
It's so wrong.
Well,
the
it's
amount of steps you went to do that.
No, but I did.
With the resources you had,
I didn't have the only
like,
computer. Okay, in my mom's house, if ever my brother, I was fighting with my brother for computer time until I was 15 years old. It wasn't until my parents realized that having a laptop would be an asset to me, like in high school, to learn and write and stuff. So my dad, going into grade 10, my dad got me a laptop, and it was on that old machine that I discovered through the horror show that was Windows Vista, that I had a copy of Windows Movie Maker. And thus, and then I went to town with Windows Movie Maker. One summer day, I actually was visiting some friends of mine who live right around the corner from here, believe it or not. Yeah. That was the summer before Halo 3 was released, which means my friends and I were just grinding on Halo 2 multiplayer, just getting ready for Halo 3. I once took my my camera to their house, and I filmed them just saying a bunch of ridiculous angry stuff. Like, I got angry outbursts on video. I got saying goofy funny shit. Like my buddy Alex straight up recreated a Crazy Frog, like ding 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 ding.
Chestnut.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
So that was a thing back in the year 2007.
It was a thing.
It was. That was my favorite song.
So essentially, and then my first foray with editing was I took footage of my friends dicking around playing Halo 2 in a dark basement on a summer day, and I edited it to make it. I sped up the footage to make it feel like we had taken we had taken speed and just played video games on like a speed bender.
Yeah.
And I also edited it slow down to make it feel like we had taken LSD.
Oh, I remember those effects.
Did you use the multicolor effect?
The multicolor one.
That was LSD incarnate.
I did.
Did you make things go fast?
That I was just saying.
I
made it go fast. You made it go slow.
Okay,
you made it
colorful. Sorry, I heard you say slow. I didn't hear you say fast.
No, I made it go. Sorry, I made it go fast. Like that's why I said like I made it feel like we were all on speed, just grinding through
so
Halo.
Funny.
And then.
Fuck, I want to get this software again and just kind of dick around with it.
Just see how primitive it is.
And then once...
It'd be even nostalgic at this point.
As time went on and I kept watching... And by the way, my YouTube channel was inevitably taken down due to like some... even in the early days of copyright YouTube claims, my videos got snagged for a few things, and I had 2 YouTube channels. They both got taken down. So I was left a little discouraged, so I just didn't bother doing anything. I like, okay. So I just focused on school, but then I was watching Machinima series, specifically Red vs. Blue.
Oh boy, here we go. And inspiration took its toll.
Dude, my friends who I was playing Halo with back in the summer.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we got Halo 3, we were constantly going to each other's house before we all added each other on Xbox Live. We were going to each other's houses, Halo 3 had what's called a theater mode where you could play a match, go back, and literally take the camera bot anywhere in the map.
Yeah.
Screen grab anything you wanted, record any video you wanted, and we thought, so this is how these guys are making machinima. And by the way, it was clear that Bungie at the time developed Halo 3 specifically so that aspiring machinima filmmakers could have machinima made easier for them. That's why theater mode was created. The other Halo games didn't have that.
Yeah.
So with the discovery of theater mode, we were like, we gotta capitalize on this shit. We decided to not do a funny Halo series. We decided to do a serious Halo series that unintentionally became funny. I can watch this any day and not get embarrassed. I'm like, it's the dumbest thing ever.
I know.
Like this prepubescent kid, my friend Alex, who was 13 at the time. I was 16.
Can I say the
Yes.
line? It's like, hey, over there. I think it's a temple or some shit like that.
That's the part that kills me too.
I
was laughing. I was trying to go like, what was the line that makes us laugh again?
I was talking. I even
temple.
It was like some shit.
If you want to, okay, guys. If you want, if
it's
you
the audio quality and the delivery that gets.
If you want to see this masterpiece, we actually talked about it in our video game episode with Tim. Remember that?
God, that was a long time.
It was, yeah. So, anyways, what happened? So, our machine. Okay, I actually had a full-fledged pitch for how I wanted the show to evolve, episode over episode.
Oh, so you wanted to make your own red versus blue?
Yes. So this is what I did. I wrote out a story, but by the way, I didn't know anything about script formatting at the time because I didn't own Celtics. I didn't even know what Celtics was. So
you would write long monologues?
No, what I would do was I would literally type in the character's name, semicolon, line of dialogue.
I used to write my scripts like a play. Yeah, that's kind of similar.
That's exactly how plays are written.
Yeah. I did the same thing. I did the same. Well, you don't know screenwriting format until like
ComTech class was my first introduction to.
Oh, is that right?
Well, that was because.
Oh wow! I wasn't until film school where they take
in ComTech class. This is how it works. ComTech class for me was a.
So this was in high school.
Yeah, in high school.
Okay.
All these experiences that I'm talking about happened while I was in high school. The reason why our machinima series never took off was because my friends and I they were outside of school, outside being high school students, they were also athletes, which means hockey games, hockey tournaments, hockey practices means note. I was lucky if I could see them like once a month and even then I had known these friends for years, and I still know them today. At the time, our tempers actually flared up because what used to be, what we thought were going to be awesome time spent together became work.
Yeah.
So our time that we had assigned to hang out was turning into work because we severely underestimated the length of time it would. Also, this was my introduction to how long it takes to make a movie or a video.
Yeah.
The amount of time it takes to film anything and to stage everything, and imagine doing all of that in a video game. What I foolishly thought we would take just the morning to film the episode. Like at 5 o'clock later that evening, we were still like filming scenes, and we were still screen grabbing scenes. And it actually got to the point where they had to go to they were due at their dad's house, and their mom was kind of expecting them to be gone, and she actually got mad at us and kicked us out. It's like, you guys have been here too long. They have to go to their dad's. Go home. Bye.
Yeah.
That was my first introduction to, down to the wire editing. And I actually remember having a nervous breakdown. And my friend, I remember I had to go outside, walk around the block. My friend Luke, walked with me to make sure I was okay.
Oh, I've had moments too, man. I'm impatient when it comes to editing.
Oh, well, not
even,
just...
Even doing, pop talk sometimes, I'm very impatient when I try to edit, it's very... Ugh,
I think that's one of the reasons why, I will not... I have a copy of Sony Vegas on my new computer now, so I can edit, but at the same time, I also... I want to be the team player on this team. Like I maybe it's just but the thing is like editing. I'm a perfectionist. I don't know if you guys share the same thing, but
I know. I think
I
all
am
three
a
of us are.
I am a mother. I mean, if my theory about us all being variants of each other from different universes is
There you
correct,
go.
then we are all perfectionists.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I am. I'm pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty passionate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Lyle, tell me about the stop motion stuff. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say,
actually have never done that before, and I'm
yeah,
fascinated.
I was gonna say it's my turn to talk about my YouTube stuff. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I watched a lot. I think anyone who had YouTube around 2007 to 2009 definitely watched Forest Fire Films. You know, Lego Batman stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Lego Batman. Like,
I didn't
he's
watch too
massive.
much of it. I was aware of it.
Yeah. He's doing great stuff now. He's a full-time animator
Right,
now,
yeah,
so
yeah.
good for him. But yeah, I watched a lot of his stuff, and I was like, there was this huge boom when it came to Lego stop motion on YouTube back in the day, and I wanted to get in on that because I played with a lot of Lego when I was a kid.
Me too.
So I would buy sets. I had a whole thing. I did a lot of Spider-Man ones. And what
This is the third time Spider-Man's come up.
Oh. Yeah, but
Here
it's
comes
like
the man.
here comes the man, and here comes the boy.
Ooh.
Hello, boy. Welcome. Okay.
Anyways, yeah.
So I was having this Canon camera that my family had, and it was like you take. I didn't understand anything about set design or lighting, so a lot of it was just like me. Like I couldn't do walk cycles very well or anything, but it's like they were still funny. I remember there was this one where Spider-Man was fighting Dr. Octopus, and it's like, I got you now, Spider-Man. And he had all his forearms on. I was like, well, tell me something, Doc. Is your wig reversible? And I just turned his like hair on his Lego around over his face. He's like, my wig.
That's funny.
Just cute stuff like that. Yeah.
So you took photos like with a Kodak camera, like
Yeah. Well, no.
I tried to do that, but
no, it wasn't a Kodak. It
Oh.
was a Canon camera. So it was a digital camera,
Oh, okay,
right, with
okay.
an SD card. So I do
Okay.
that, and I edited on Windows Movie Maker,
Wow, dude.
and it was like you had to go to the smallest frame size, smallest frame. You had to drag all these photos into the frame itself. And then you had to do like voice acting, which is like I just stood in front of my camera with no microphone going, wow, I'm Spider-Man. I'm gonna save the day today. Yay! I'm Dr. Octopus, and I am the evil genius mastermind. Like, that's literally how I talked.
It's funny, I had that Spider-Man 2 Lego set of like,
me
train,
too.
The train. I had Doc Ock and Spider-Man.
I had that one too. Yeah, it was amazing.
Nice.
His hair was like he had like
it was like a mushroom.
Yeah,
I'm lame. I didn't have any Spider-Man Legos.
Legos was my world for the longest time.
I had Star Wars Legos, not Spider-Man Legos.
Same with me. I had a bunch of everything actually.
Yeah.
But I never made a short. I'm surprised. I tried to, but like why I was asking like if you had a camera. I had one that had the flash on it. Like it's one of those.
Yeah, you have
cheapo,
the flash. Or you'd
the
have the
Kodak
numbers at the bottom right or something.
QG Film, is that the other one? That other brand?
Yeah, Kuji. Yeah.
QG Film. Like I tried to do that. It had a flash. It just made things look way worse than they were. It's just I was like done. I can't.
Yeah,
I don't know what.
I had a series too, much like Evan. I was trying to make a series of stop motion animated shorts. It was called Chuck and Steve. And it was about these two stormtroopers.
Oh, no.
Chuck was like the only stormtrooper in the entire fleet who could shoot worth a damn. So every time he shot someone, they just erupt in a.
Be careful, that might be a Disney Plus series.
Yeah, no. Every time the second one I made was so gory. It was like Saving Private Ryan. Like all this Play-Doh would shoot out. Wait.
So you did what Rogue One would do, but years before.
Yeah, there's just so much Play-Doh blood around, and like one guy got shot.
Did you know Chuck and Steve are in The Force Awakens? They make a cameo.
Are those two stormtroopers that walk away when Kylo Ren is destroying the torture chamber? Like,
that's exactly who.
That is exactly Chuck and Steve.
That's exactly Chuck and Steve.
I'll have to show you
They're
guys.
just like, nope.
Yeah,
and they turn around.
It's like, Steve had the most annoying voice. Like I don't know what
so
I
you
was
voiced both of them.
I did all the voices.
What was the What did they
like?
sound like?
Chuck was like, Steve, we have to go stop. They pressed the self-destruction button. We have to stop them. I'm sorry, Chuck. I'm very slow and I can't see anything. I want to eat cake. Like,
He sounds like Mel Brooks, and this sounds like something you'd see in Spaceballs.
Yeah, Mel Brooks.
Sanders, you gotta help me. I don't know what to do. I can't make decisions.
I'm
I'm the
sorry.
president.
I'm sorry. If I walked, the movie would be over. Oh, that hurts my throat now.
There's a lot of yelling. A lot of our old shorts yelling. Yelling is funny.
When I was doing live action shorts, but I'm glad you talked about the stop motion. I'll just show you guys some of them. They're kind of cute going back to them.
Yeah.
But despite how like minimal they were, but my live action shorts, I try to have a show because my YouTube channel used to be called Lyle versus Exile. So get this, it's me and my evil clone who wears a black coat, a black sweater with a hoodie over his face.
Oh,
this is the most edgelord shit. I actually deleted the video that I made with Lyle versus Exile. It's fucking terrible. It was me learning all about how camera angles work, and me trying to make like my own angry video game nerd skit.
Nice.
And there's even one point where I take out a Bulbasaur to fight him. I had like a Bulbasaur doll, and I'm just like, die! I drew like an MS Paint fireball. It looked like shit.
Speaking of, I'll let you go back to your story, but very quickly, in the summer of 2007, I discovered the Angry Video Game Nerd, and I got really hooked on his movies, and I love his content. His videos, sorry. And then I loved his content. I would watch it religiously. But then I decided to eventually emulate him, and that was
your own Angry Video Game.
Do you know what I did? I took my camera, recorded myself playing Toy Story 2 on N64,
I love that game.
I thought at the time, I'm like, wow, this game is bad, and I was pretending to hate on it, and like,
this game sucks.
No,
I fell. What a shitty game.
That was literally what I did.
And, a horrible game.
No, that's literally what I did. And I actually went on a rant where I talked about other bad video game movies. Like I talked about how Finding Nemo, which I had on the GameCube, Finding Nemo was it was horrible. I didn't like it. I liked the Incredibles game.
That one was okay.
The Incredibles game on GameCube I really enjoyed. And then I ended the video by saying, well, they make shitty games off of movies. And when Toy Story 3 comes out, expect to see a shitty game about that. And then I was eating my own words in 2010 because the game they released alongside Toy Story 3 was actually really cool. It wasn't based on the movie at all. It was a toy box scenario where you could do whatever you wanted.
Kind of like Disney Infinity.
It was Disney Infinity with the toys. And I'm like...
Speaking of Toy Story, I may have told you guys a story. I believe I might have, but it's speaking of home videos. When I mentioned like way back in the day, 97, when I was a kid, I was opening up presents for Christmas. I was opening up like a bunch of Toy Story toys that year. And I got like the actual like it was the official Toy Story like Army Man like little like
I remember seeing that Toys R Us and asking my dad to get it for me. It's
the same circular white box like from the movie.
We couldn't have those because my brother was too young and he could have choked on them. That's why.
But it was so funny because from the movie, like when they're parachuting off of the stairway, like with the kind of
the army men,
the camouflage parachutes. Yeah. I'm taking out all these army men, and I'm trying to rip off these parachutes. My mom's like, "Oh no, don't rip it, honey, don't rip it." I thought they were just extra padding. Or
you didn't know what they were.
I didn't know what they were, and I didn't like put a connection to the movie too, which is funny because I had already seen the movie at that point. But what was so funny, actually, is that a year later, in the other Christmas video in '98, when I was on a big Small Soldiers fucking phase, which is basically Toy Story directed by Sid Phillips, yeah.
Exactly.
I didn't get every Gorgonite and Commando Elite from that movie, but I got, like, some. But it was so funny, because when I took them out, I'm like, I got Archer, I got Chip Hazard, right? And I'm like, here we go. And I punched the box, and I'm like, oh, I can't open it. Because I'm remembering from the movie when the way they punch their way out of the box as if it's like glass. I was like thinking it's going to break like glass, but it was just plastic. I was so fucking cute. It was so
That's
funny.
Great. Should I go through like a quick list? I have my YouTube channel right here. Should I just go through a quick like speed round of all these videos I made?
Sure. Yeah.
Like
I got to go into the second arrow of my filmography.
Yeah, okay.
But,
I do too.
I made a Twilight spoof. I had a blonde wig. I was doing my best Edward Cullen impression, and I found out that Bella was pregnant, and I'm wearing like this what are those? An orc mask to look like Kristen Stewart. And
What?
Then it's like I pull out the baby, and it's a giant Scooby Doo plushie, which is to imply she had sex with Jacob instead.
What
That's
the
funny.
fuck?
That's funny.
And then I had another one called Doodles Have Rights, which is I always wore an
So,
orange shirt in all these
You
videos.
were emulating Edward Cullen. Are you sure there wasn't? So when you were making that, are you sure that there wasn't something in the way?
Oh my god.
Sorry,
yeah,
deep cut.
Nirvana. That's not really a deep cut. That's just a Batman reference. Then
Yeah.
I wore a lot of orange shirts in these videos. I had one called Doodles Have Rights where I draw a stick figure and then I animated the stick figure to be like, you made me, but you never told me why.
Oh, so like Frankendoodle from SpongeBob.
Pretty much like Frankendoodle. I never watched that episode. And then I throw him into the garbage, right? Because like you're under contract.
Did you know Adult Swim greenlit a Frankendoodle show?
Oh really?
I wish.
I'm like, wait, no, they
It's
didn't.
not real.
No.
Wish.
What's funny is that I made like a puppet for the stick figure out of like chicken wire, and he came out of the trash can. He's like, I will have my revenge, and then he put on sunglasses, and it would turn into the Terminator. Okay. This is a. Oh yeah, I also made like a Hannibal Lecter video for Halloween, where I pour like a jar of salsa and say, brains, and I ate it. I think I got sick after that. But then it's like, it's actually the only video I have of my mom, actually.
Oh.
And then, this one got me popular in high school. It's called Lyle Gets Kidnapped. So I'm in my fucking, just like the Hannibal Lecter video, I'm in my basement near a wood pile with an axe and everything. And I'm tied to a chair, quote unquote. And then there's me wearing a ski mask. It's like, what am I doing here? It's like, you stole my favorite movie, Pulp Fiction. Give it back.
I was about to say this sounds like Tarantino-ish kind of stuff.
Oh, there's even a scene where it's like, I want McDonald's. It's like, will you be quiet if I get you McDonald's? I'm like, yeah. And then again, I use Song 2 by Blur, and I'm just sitting in the car. I'm sitting in the car driving, and it's just sitting there because I didn't have my license. So I didn't want to get in trouble.
I need to see this shot. I need to see that shot.
No, the cameraman, like, moves the camera around to make it look like it's moving.
You couldn't think, one of your parents, hey, do you mind just driving the car just for this one shot? You don't need to show who's driving. Oh, don't worry. There are tons of shit that you're going to be like, Cody, what the fuck?
Oh, I also made an action movie called Mission Inconceivable, where I have like all these airsoft guns. I'm like a super badass spy. I got a leather vest and shorts, khaki shorts.
Tom Cruise.
I'm climbing on trees. There's a lot of shots where I try my best to be like Tom Cruise.
Oh my god!
And I'm shooting my friends with a plastic gun.
That's great.
It's actually like I kind of took it seriously too. Like it's kind of commendable. And there's a shovel fight. We didn't have any knives or anything, so we fought with shovels.
I really wanted to make a war film early. I'm talking like grade school when I had that first camera.
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to make a war film with like Nerf guns and like those dollar store swords. Remember those like those like spongy swords,
styrofoam swords.
Sorry, like those swords.
I love those.
Yeah, like just buy a bunch of those and we all just start like hitting each other and shooting each other. I don't know. Like
this isn't related to filmmaking, but back when the winter I saw Mulan for the first time, I got a styrofoam sword for Christmas, and I tried to take it to school one day. My mom's like, "Nah, those aren't allowed at school." I'm like, "Oh."
Funny thing, actually, do you guys remember when the Phantom Menace had a tie-in with Taco Bell, KFC, and Pizza Hut?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of merchandise from that movie when I was a kid, and I had one toy that I brought in for Toys R Us, or not Toys. Sorry, not Toys R Us. Sorry, Show and Tell.
Show and Tell. Yeah.
Toys R Us. Sorry. I brought a toy in for Show and Tell that was like it was the Tatooine thing. Where when you pop it up, it had every planet. It had Coruscant, Naboo,
Tatooine. There were 3 planets in that movie.
Yeah. I had the Tatooine one where I open it up, and it's that really momentary. It was that quick little.
I remember those.
That quick lightsaber fight that Darth Maul and Qui-Gon had on the planet.
Yeah.
It was just them kind of rocking back and forth, going like, whatever.
Yeah.
And I bring it up like, all right, this is from Star Wars, you know that. And I open it, and my teacher went, "They're fighting. Go sit down. Detention." Or just that I got in trouble.
Oh, fuck off.
They're like, "Oh, that's violent. Two little things just going
Well,
like they're not even touching."
I
It
had
was just,
trouble with that too in school. I'd build like guns
Ugh.
out of Lego, and it's all because of the Columbine shit and the mass shootings that were happening around the time. And
Yeah.
teachers were really getting on your ass if you ever had violent impulses. God forbid.
Yeah.
And it's worth mentioning, guys, that as of this
Jesus.
recording, there was
Texas.
in Texas there was a horrific school.
It's like the worst thing.
It was
Sandy
the
Hook.
worst school shooting since Sandy Hook. 18, I believe the death toll was up to 19.
Very 18 kids and 3 adults, I believe.
18, maybe 19 kids, 3 adults.
Can we do a moment of silence? Actually,
yes.
yeah, it's crazy. It's really crazy. But to bring it back, like I yeah, wait, where were we going with this? Sorry, we kind of went on a tangent about
you
just
were
like
talking about show and tell.
Well,
and, like,
I remember the Queen Amidala commercial for Pizza Hut where like the girl wants to be Queen Amidala and then her mom is like, "Oh, but you're not Queen Amidala. I am." And then she just morphs and like, "Yeah."
Oh man, what a twist! Just like in the movie.
I think that's literally what happened.
I made an animated series with MS Paint.
Yeah.
I was very much inspired by this one YouTuber called Coconut Buyer. He was a really underrated Canadian YouTuber. Please check him out. He still makes stuff to this day. The same quality too, and it's great. And yeah, it was called Just Browsing, and it was all about these 3 teenagers who hang around the mall. It's kind of like mall rats.
I recorded entire voices.
Yeah, I wanted to bring it back. Like years later, after I went through film school and all that, I wanted to make an 8-part series for this show. But the problem is that I had no time, and I was doing so much. Like I was doing lip syncing, everything with MS Paint, and it was so frustrating and time consuming that I wasn't able to finish like any of the episodes. I think I just gave up on the one I was working on. I uploaded it recently, and I got like 40 views, and I'm just like, yeah. Some things are better off just being let go.
You know, even having this discussion, I think I'm actually having like almost like an epiphany of like, I think I was inspired by the Blair Witch Project more than I thought I was.
When did you watch it? When you were a kid?
Young.
Oh.
I was at least 9 or 10 when I saw that the first time.
When you make a movie called Creeper in the Woods, I can see why.
Well, you know what? Actually, I had a concept idea. I wanted to make my first creature film. I wanted to make, like, around when I was going through that, you know, Creature in the Woods phase, I wanted to make a movie called The Tree Treader. And he was just a guy that treads trees. I don't know. It was just some stupid bullshit.
And last note on Just Browsing, you played a character named Sid, who was a skateboarder and a punk.
Yeah.
I wonder where that character came from.
My favorite, the character that I really enjoyed, like, I remember playing, Sid, I was just basically...
You're kind of just talking with a low voice.
Yeah, well, I basically emulated Jimbo Jones or Nelson Muntz and talk like that.
There you go.
But the character that I had a lot of fun playing was the store security guard, and I wrote, when I was reading your lines of dialogue, I saw a lot of inspiration from the TS's girlfriend's the jerk off father played by Michael Rooker from
Mallrats.
And so when I was recording his dialogue, I had just seen Guardians 2 at the time, and
doing your best.
And I emulated Yondu while I was recording. Like, "You are in so much trouble, punk. You're gonna show up at this mall at 6 a.m. And if you don't show up, boy, I'm gonna make sure you never see your face is never seen at this town again."
We also did a Force Awakens parody.
I would have loved to have seen that!
Butt.
Kylo Butt?
Or something like that. Alright, you were Han Solo. You're like, alright, you Astro Butts.
It's like, you Astro Butts, I told you not to fuck with the hyperdrive.
You know what's crazy? It's like,
take us to hyperspace, Fooey.
Fooey. Oh yeah, and it was amazing because I actually predicted the Skywalker twist from Rise of Skywalker because I made Rey into a hybrid of Rey and Kaylee from Firefly. So she was like Rayleigh Frywalker. She's Rey Skywalker. Life's funny. Life's pretty
She's
cool sometimes.
Okay, she's not a fucking Skywalker. I don't give a shit how
She
that
calls
movie ends.
herself that, though.
I don't. I'm sorry. I wish I could care. I just don't.
I know.
I'm so sorry, Daisy Ridley. I love you as a person. I'm sure you're great. I'm so happy that you're back. I'm so happy you're back on social media.
I'm sure she'll go on to do other things.
I hope she does.
Yeah.
She deserves it.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. Where should we take this conversation next, fellas?
We were talking.
Are we going into high school?
Well,
or
no,
film school,
I wanna talk about when my filmography began. So, exactly similar to you, Evan. It's just so funny. We really had almost like the exact same experiences.
Okay, I'm going to. I'm seriously going to conduct like multiversal experiments to see how if this theory I have is true about us all being variants.
So that first camera that I got when I told you like I got it for Christmas, I think around 2008, it crapped out. Like it stopped working. I remember like I was
to quote Steve Buscemi from Armageddon. This is a goddamn Greek tragedy.
But what's so funny about that camera is that it's bookended by two really big projects that I was trying to do, almost like a documentarian. And I have a bit of like documentarian blood in me. I just don't use it as well, and that's probably why some of my films, when I tried to make them look like movies, it's all shoddy and crappy.
Kind of haphazard, yeah.
Haphazard, and I tried to just separate like documentarian and cinematic. You know, I had to kind of practice the differences between the two. Yeah. The first thing I ever did was actually Christmas of 2006, where I was just videotaping my parents, my sisters, and our just experiences having Christmas that year. Oh, yeah. And then it was bookended. The last thing that I shot, and I didn't end up editing it or making it. It was my 2-week trip in BC when my uncle got married in 2008.
Nice. Yeah, nice.
So I had it all planned out. That was going to be such a cool, you know, like there was gonna be montages sped up and all that with music and like, you know, just I had it all in my head, and then it fell apart. Yeah. Just because I remember trying to get the camera repaired and just didn't work out. Yeah. So I literally went on a 2-year hiatus actually in high school and did hardly any projects.
Oh, I became a big shot in high school.
But until the very end. Yeah. That's when keep going. Business boomed. No pun intended.
That's
like, busyness boomed.
After my failed machinima, I didn't make anything for it. I started writing, and I actually tried to write a war novel. This is somewhat related to filmmaking, but I tried to write a war novel. If I can find it, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, please.
And then when I was in ComTech class, I tried to write a teen drama novel. Josh could tell you about that.
I forgot to mention one tiny thing. I actually entered, you know that Chuck and Steve? I entered it in my high school's film festival. There's only 2 of us who have submitted, and so they just said, well, the one live action one took a lot of effort, but the stop motion one took a lot of effort too. So you both win. I'm like, alright. So they had to split their earnings with each other, but I got all the money myself because I did it by myself. But then they showed it at an assembly, and that caught me off guard. So then everybody saw my stupid Lego movie. And I was like,
do you know what I'm picturing? Like,
and all the teachers kept saying, "I like the blood, Lyle."
Do you know what image just popped into my mind? Grandpa Simpson seeing Itchy and Scratchy for the first time. Like, remember in the front?
Oh, the front, yeah.
Where like,
that was the first time I saw Itchy and Scratchy, and I didn't like it one bit.
It was disgusting and violent. I think all you people are sick.
For shame!
Boo!
But go on, Cody.
Yeah. So, most of grade 9, all of grade 10, no projects. But I went on every movie you got to see before you die. Like, this is where, like, I sought out and got into cinema. Yeah. Movies. Like, really reached out. Whether I was renting, whether I was downloading. I don't get in trouble for it. But then we enter KJ.
Oh, yeah.
We enter KJ. When I meet KJ, and boy, when I hear that this guy loves movies, and he made his own movies before meeting me, it's like we both have the same ambitions. Like him and I were like Spielberg and Lucas. Like we clicked. Nice. Like really clicked.
Nice.
And Well, he really wanted to try to make like a channel, and already the Def TV, it died. Like like all the shit got removed. All the it was another channel.
Death of Def
Def
TV.
TV. More like Death TV.
Exactly.
Oh,
It was
man.
dead. So I already had like a bad experience when trying to make a channel that I'm like, like here's KJ. He's someone who's very inspired by, like, as you said, Smosh, F&D films. All those bit segment kind of sketch stuff. He wanted to be like that, right?
Mm.
But I was kind of in that mindset, like I did that back then, and I kind of just want to focus on signature short films and really like actually like write them down and like start practicing like a craft, right?
Oh yeah.
And like our friend Troy was kind of just there for the ride, just kind of helped us out and stuff like that. Like we helped each other out to make a lot of films, mostly KJ. He did a lot of short for our channel, so we ended up just making this channel. It was mostly him. It was mostly commissioned by him. It was mostly his content. I'm not going to get into that stuff because I'm horribly embarrassed by our stuff that I did with his channel. But the only one that I actually wrote and directed, this is the first thing I actually sat down and wrote out, and I believe I showed it to you guys. Yeah. Who's Your Daddy?
Ah.
Sitcom.
Well, the sitcom, quote unquote, where it's just about two roommates. Okay, I basically based it off of that Cheeky Bastards bit from Family Guy, off of the PTV episode.
Yeah.
The one Family Guy episode that I actually really enjoy. The Cheeky Bastards thing where Brian and Stewie are like, it's like oh my god, where's my roast? Oh, I think it's in my lower intestine. And literally, I used those two lines and literally just.
You plopped them in there.
That's the first two lines of my short, and then I just like, okay, now I'll write it originally. And it's just like KJ plays this guy who's like wanting to have his boss come over for his promotion, and I'm like the asshole roommate that just wants to fuck up his night and all that. But when I handed all the footage off to KJ, he didn't edit it the way that I intended him to do it, where I wanted the laugh tracks to make it like amped up, like, oh, this is an unfunny sitcom. So all you have is all these dry, dead air bits of just like, oh, that should have been the laugh track. But then he puts it on YouTube and it's like, oh, well. And I just didn't have the gumption and confidence to be like, dude, just like, you didn't edit it the way that I did. And I just put up with it, whatever.
Oh.
So it really wasn't what I intended it to be, right? So whatever. It was one of my only contributions I did. That, and there was it was called a trailer for WTF, where it was just me in front of a camera and I'm just like making fun of movie trailers with all the cliched lines and like the amplified music, and just I'll show you that one after. It's pretty funny.
Movie criticism in 2008, huh?
Because I went through a snob phase and I was like, oh god, every fucking trailer's the same. Like, that was 2008, 9ish, something like that. And then, similar to you, Evan, ComTech class. So while we're out of high school, learning how to do computers, and we're helping out with our video announcements every single morning, when I got all that work done, and I realized that our teacher had a Sony camera, oh boy, I was like, to kill time, I'm making movies. I'm making fucking movies. Like, this is an opportunity, right? Yeah. So, it was actually a project for that class. It was a storyboard project. And guess what it was, Evan?
What?
I did a fucking fan film of Lost called Found.
Of course.
And it's dog shit. It's so funny. I use the same music from the show. I open up on the eye, like that's the first shot of it. I totally wanted to make a love letter to Lost, right? Like I absolutely fucking loved it.
So what I got here.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
This is an award that I got from high school.
Holy shit!
For having the highest mark in ComTech.
Nice.
I didn't even know that they made. I don't think they make these anymore, but it's just like I have a plaque based on how well I did in that class.
Yeah, show that photo of it. Fuck it. Yeah.
I'll have to dust it off. I've had it in my room ever since.
I got that work done so easily that, like, again, I just killed time to just did short
it was an easy
course. It was easy, yeah. We had kind of a dickhead teacher. Like, KJ kissed his ass a lot. But no, whatever, I won't get into that. But anyways, so, guys, let's talk about my masterpiece. And it's the one that Lyle always knows. Everybody knows about this movie. Finding the Tune.
Also known as Copyright Strike 1 second in.
Oh boy. if I put this on YouTube, I'd be in debt for the rest of my life. So what it was is I had this idea for a movie. How it actually all began was I was in class. This old friend of mine, Sean, was just like listening to music, like in the middle of class, and I thought it was so funny. He just had his headphones. He just listened to songs. And I just had this vision. I'm like, what if the teacher just went, "Stop playing that music, Sean." He went, "What music?" And she's going, "That music I'm hearing," and all that stuff. And I thought, like that's a premise ish. And then I thought of that old sketch, Banana Phone. Did you guys ever watch it?
Ring, 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 ring.
Banana Phone. It's
Yeah.
that Flash animation one where it's like, what's that noise? Or what's that music? What's what music? So I'm like, okay, I have a premise here. Someone hears music and he's the only person that can hear it. And I have a soft spot for movies like Liar Liar or Groundhog Day where it's like someone who's kind of like arrogant at the beginning and something sporadic and magical happens
so
to
like
them.
The Emperor's New Groove?
Emperor's New Groove,
Cars.
or the kid, like the Disney's Kid, the Bruce Willis one.
Oh, yeah.
Like where something kind of happens to somebody sporadically, and it's happening for a reason to like have them change.
Yeah, you don't see those anymore.
Yeah, I kind of have a soft spot.
They're called reform stories.
Oh, is that actually a term?
Well, like at least that's what I watched someone talk about Cars, and they compared it to The Emperor's New Groove, where it's like a spoiled protagonist like goes on a reform journey.
That's a good term for it.
Reform.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
But you know, it's one movie. This movie reminded me of, Cody. Freddy Got Fingered.
Okay. So the plot is that okay. When I say I first of all have to say I did not intend to star in this movie.
No.
When I got all of my actors together, meaning like KJ, an old friend of mine, Bobby, Nicole, like Nicole and KJ are supposed to play my parents, even though we're all the same age. Just terrible casting, terrible casting. And I had intended to have an old friend of mine named Corey to play the main character. And the problem is that he had to drop out at the last minute because I wanted everyone to come to my place to shoot all the scenes of all of us together. Then on our own, I'll just shoot them all individually. This was the only day I can get all of us together, just to shoot the ending and the beginning, right?
Yeah.
So Cody in high school was like, he didn't know what logistics was, right?
No, you don't.
Okay, you can't make it? Okay, we'll just shoot some other day. But
No, you fucking
Nope.
can't.
Nope. I'm like, then I guess I'll star in the movie then. It was all literally like the day of. Like I woke up that day not thinking I was gonna star in this movie, and I did.
Yeah.
I had to.
But why is it like Freddy Got Fingered?
So it's about I play this lazy high school graduate who is not doing anything with his life. He's literally like I'm literally watching the Simpsons movie in one scene.
Oh yeah.
And
Which scene in the Simpsons? Because the scene.
Oh, it's a stand back. I got a chainsaw, and they all peep in the hole. And
How does it thematically relate to the story you're trying to tell?
So it's like so it's all about me getting heckled by my parents because like I haven't done anything since I graduated high school, and like I have. If you're
gonna have a scene from the Simpsons movie in your movie, you should have shown the scene where Marge is yelling at Homer. Homer, I can't believe you'd say something so selfish.
My neighbor's son is a nuclear physicist, and my son can watch The Simpsons!
So the brother character is like the Freddy character, as you said, like the one that the parents love, and it's like, oh, you have a job and all that, and it's like, and then in the dinner scene, it's such a huge exposition scene of me just explaining like everything. We're literally eating wax fruit.
Yeah, you were.
We're not eating it, but it's just a thing of plates.
Like you're eating it.
It's just a thing of grapes on a plate. There's just an apple on one plate.
Did you raid like
orange?
Did you raid a? Did you steal a wax bowl from Pier 1 or something,
dude,
like for home decor?
Dude, like one of Pat's friends, Masaki, we showed this movie to him years ago to laugh at.
Masaki, that's a cool name.
Oh yeah, he's an awesome guy.
Nice.
He was like, dude. You didn't even think about for 1 second to do TV dinners, for God's sakes, like to make some sort of legitimacy. I'm like, dude, literally you just said TV dinners, like that didn't even cross my mind. That's the first time that you literally just said like a great idea. That would have debunked an embarrassing looking scene because it's literally just. I'm literally holding the grapes in one shot because I'm just like I don't know what to do with this. We're not eating it. Bobby was pretending to eat the fucking apple, which was he actually did a pretty good job pretending he's eating it, like doing the actions and all that. So then I have like a blowout scene where it's like, oh, I don't want you just want me to be like brother, whatever, fuck you, mom and dad.
Fuck you, mom and dad.
So here's the premise. So my God, just every fucking type of music I was into. Rock music, pop music, just nonstop music. I wake up, I'm like, what's all this music? I'm hearing it. It's literally, as my character describes in the movie, it's like, I literally have, it's like a shuffle mode on an iPod. I'm just like, why is all this music playing? And then like, it's a whole lesson about the fact that like, when I'm doing something productive, the music stops.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Oh, that's neat.
So it's like,
that's a cool idea.
But it's so like, poorly shot. The music is a bit much. Sometimes the non-diegetic and the diegetic music gets a bit confusing. When there's actual genuine score in the film, people are like, wait, is that in your head or what's going on? Like, it wasn't translated well. You know, like there's aspects of it where, but I look back with Finding the Tune, like, wow, I really tried to make a movie. It's like the most humble looking time capsule of me trying to like rush out a film. Because I took like 3 to 4 days writing the script, and that was like fast, but also like probably the most not stressful part. And like shooting sometimes with these movies, there's like something magical where it's like, I don't know what's gonna happen, how they're gonna act, how they're gonna perform, what it's gonna be like. Let's just shoot it and be gone with it, like Ed Wood style. And then in editing, I mean, I'll get to this point, but like a lot of my stuff was like assembly cut, like and then that was it. I didn't think of final. I just really wanted to rush out and be like, show this to family and friends.
Second shots.
Just didn't do a fucking, just that happened a lot. That happened a lot.
Yeah.
I remember what it was like wanting nothing more than to just get something done. But the reality is like it's a torturous experience mentally because like you know how you want it to be and you want everyone to see it, but you can't. No one can see it until it's perfect.
And especially when you are doing a movie with like a zero budget and you're the only person that has to control the camera, and then when you're in the shot I have to fucking pass it down to someone else. So that really was probably why it was such a stressful experience, because I wasn't intending on being in front of the camera. I should have been shooting that whole thing, and if I was, I'm pretty sure it would have turned out a little bit better.
I admit I never attempted to make a movie in high school. I think the closest thing was like my buddy, I had a friend of mine named Ryan who had a channel called Zero De Niro Productions.
Zero De Niro Productions, that's pretty...
So,
I gave
Robert De Niro was in none of his videos, right?
No.
Hence the title.
Call him up.
Hey, speaking of Spanish, Evan, that's De Niro is Spanish for money.
Well, Robert De Niro, he brings in the De Niro.
Yeah, exactly. So
the Nino is Spanish for the Nino. It's a Chris Farley SNL reference.
Yeah. But so we made this one bit. It was called Zucchini, where he came to my house like late one night. He's like, Lyle, I got some zucchini. Let's make a movie with it. And I'm like, okay. So we're just I'm standing out in my driveway. He runs by. Oh, dude, you want to see a zucchini? Oh my god, that's a zucchini. You damn right it is. What can it do? It can do this! He smashes it on the ground, and we all just start cheering. And for no reason. It was just a weird video. But then it's like he wanted me to start shooting more videos with him and make more content. So it got to the point where he wanted to make like this movie, almost like Drive or something. Or Death Proof, where he's just like a badass driver guy. And I'm his lame brother. So, I got to learn how to shoot cars pretty well. I got like the Dutch tilt angle when you're facing the hood. I learned how to pan really nicely. We got a lot of nice shots of us driving cars, but we had no story and no stakes whatsoever. So I don't even think I edited the thing. I think he did, and it never saw the light of day. But I know a lot of people were like, "Hey, Lyle, you shot that pretty well, though."
Well, it's kind of a funny segue. Speaking of shot very well, and even speaking of The Simpsons, actually, my next short, this was in 2011, beginning of 2011. So it actually relates again to like a project that I did. In English class, we had to present a poem. Like we had to just research a poet and like read a poem out loud, whatever. And I was like, hey, the only poem I know is The Raven, for obvious reasons.
I think you were telling me about this.
Yeah, like, The Simpsons, Treehouse of Horror, and I was like... But then I was like, you know what? If I, like, tweak this...
I've seen this.
Yes.
Yes, I've seen this.
if I tweak this, like the dialogue, kind of modernize it and make it like almost like a surreal home invasion kind of thing, because that's
Oh yeah, this one.
yeah. So we enter faceless. So this was a black. The black and white aspect was the last decision I made on the movie when I was editing it. It wasn't intended on being a black and white, but it was just like, hey, what does this look like in black and white? And I'm like, holy shit, that looks better. Just keep it. That was a happy little accident that I just decided at the very last minute, literally the very last minute. So yeah, I make this little like atmospheric kind of like retelling, but it's like I changed a lot of the word a lot of the poem, but made it almost like screenplay format kind of way. And Corey, the guy that was intending on being the star in Finding the Tune, stars in this one. So I was behind the camera the whole time, and you know what? I had some pretty not badish kind of shots in the film where I had a lot of time to think. Okay, I want a wide shot here. I want to make this look kind of striking. I want to I was thinking more instead of thinking how I'm gonna act and I gotta organize all this because like Finding the Tune was just so like kind of stressful, right?
Yeah.
The only intention I had was just like, hey, how is this gonna look? Is this gonna look good? Just you guys say your lines, And Corey memorizes lines like right away, and Troy's the one fucking wearing the mask, pretending to be like the home invasion guy. And I remember joking like, Troy, just remember not your lines. I kept saying, remember your line, because all he had to say was nevermore,
Nevermore.
nevermore. And like we always laugh at it. Like he's like, it's a home invasion, but like when it shows his feet at one point and he's wearing socks, it's like, oh, what a very friendly burglar. He took off his shoes when he came into the house. Like, just it was pretty fun. Like it was a pretty fast and efficient shoot, but yeah, it is what it is. Like I don't look back on it going like frowning on it. It is what it is. But and then. So, Lyle, you just said that there was a film festival at your high school. Was there one at yours, Evan?
There was.
There wasn't.
There wasn't, but okay. So I will. It reminds me of a very quick story. In 8th grade, our 8th grade teacher said, "You know what we'd like to do? We'd like to have a film festival where we want to And I didn't know what that meant at the time. I thought Josh and I had just finished quoting and memorizing word for word the episode of Stars Burns. So we were like, does this mean we're going to make our own movie? So Josh and our buddy Brandon and we talked about, getting one of our cameras and making a spy thriller. And it was going to be, I was going to play the Prime Minister of Canada, and one of them was going to try and kill me, and my bodyguard would stop them. That was going to be the plot. It wasn't a film festival at all. It turns out our grade 8 teacher just wanted to watch a bunch of movies the film festival was literally our 8th grade teacher wanted to show us a bunch of movies at the end of the year.
That's strange.
It was very strange, but that was how I came to see stuff like October Sky, Apollo. Well, I'd seen October Sky, but that was how I got to see Apollo 13 for the first time. Cool. Yeah, no, because he was a.
So it was like a film, like just.
It was a film marathon. It was more of a marathon than a festival.
Okay, that's neat. Well, the reason why I'm asking you guys, like how I brought up film festival, is because KJ and I launched the very first film festival at our high school.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's nice.
We launched it. We announced it. We were like, and I got, KJ and I we got more attention at the tail end of high school because we were doing like movie reviews, like video reviews, like Siskel and Ebert style on the video announcements at our high school.
Wow.
Yeah, like we did like, I didn't tell you guys this?
No.
We didn't do too many episodes. That's the thing. Like God, it was embarrassing. Like here we are arguing over Sanctum. Do you guys even remember Sanctum?
No.
That like underwater movie that James Cameron produced, like executive produced. It's just a survival thriller of people in this like trench underwater, whatever.
Sounds like The Abyss.
Here we are just arguing about this in front of everybody. The Green Hornet we also reviewed. We were doing our Oscars thing that year where I was going for Inception. He was going for the Social Network. And...
Oh, I would have been friends with you guys if I had known you back then. I would have loved something like this.
We when you go into
I'm amazed. I gotta commend you for having the courage to do that, because my mom would. This is the type of thing that my mom would encourage 18, 19-year-old me to do, but I wouldn't want to do it because I'd be afraid to put myself out there.
Well, I mean, I had a little bit of stage fright, just getting up there. Like I would just humbly talk about the film, but KJ was just so like passionate and wanted to talk about it, and he had so much enthusiasm. And I'm just like, the movie was good or bad, but I don't know. The last one that we did, and this was such a funny coincidence actually. The very last movie that we reviewed for our video announcements was Super 8 because that was at the tail. Nice. That was June of 2011-ish era. But then right after we hosted the film festival, we went to go see Super 8.
Yeah.
And that movie's about making movies with your friends, and I just thought it was so fitting. It was so cool.
Super 8, Super 8 was a good movie.
It's good, yeah. It's a
I like the way
a precursor to Stranger Things.
I like the way it utilized Electrolyte Orchestra's "Don't Bring Me Down."
But our movie that we decided to make, KJ and I, that we decided to make for this festival, I entered in faceless. Nice. He entered in a movie called Memory Field, which I only shot. I didn't act in it or whatever. But the movie that we wanted to collaborate with was 500 Steps, and I said
of Summer.
No, 500 steps. 500 steps, and I said this better be the Citizen Kane of the Creature in the Woods movie. So here I am back doing this shit again. So I'm in it too, and you know what? It was probably my best acting job, where I play this guy, part of this science research team. There's 5 of us. It's literally like everyone getting picked off one by one kind of story. Where I'm the nerdy, not nerdy, I'm just kind of the quiet, timid guy that's getting pushed around by the other guys. They're jealous of me, and KJ's the head guy. And then a Creature's in the Woods, it's a fucking gorilla suit. It's a fucking guy in a gorilla suit. We just had a gorilla suit in hand. You want to just do it? And the camera we were shooting on was our teacher's Sony camera that it run by Tape Deck as well. Not Tape Deck, sorry, that's dated. That's
a long time ago.
But it had this really crazy overexposed look to it. So the whole movie is so green. Imagine Avatar, but imagine it was green instead of blue.
Like The Matrix.
Yeah, it was so bright. I was so pale and bright white looking, and everything else around us in the woods. And we did shoot on location in actually a pretty dense forest that's next to a trail, but we had to make sure we didn't want to show the trail. We were thinking, we wanted to make it look like we were cut off from civilization.
Lyle,
we got a shot of a deer, and then we didn't end up using it in the goddamn movie. I'm so pissed.
I'd be pissed at that too.
Because this is another example where
how was the deer shot unusable?
KJ got final cut for this movie, and I for years would walk around I fucking hate this cut, and I had no say into it. But not to jump ahead too much, but I kind of have to. But 8 years later, we make an epilogue in 2019. But we've been intending to want to go back to the editing room and just re-edit it from scratch, right? Because we have so much coverage that we want to use. We'll use the deer shot. We'll not make it as comically toned because the other actors we were using were not good, and we just want to kind of reduce them a bit. But we also want to insert this little epilogue. And right before we were about to fucking really edit this down, COVID happened, and then it's just literally been on editing. It's been on the shelf, essentially. But 500 Steps won first place.
Nice
at the festival, but it didn't really make us look good at the same time, because here we are in our school auditorium. And the only people that are there are the people that entered in their other films and just their guests. No one came. It was a shame. No one came. Our advertisement was poor for this. Our fucking sound design, dude. Or not our sound design, sorry. Our sound speaker for this presentation of all these shorts. Do you know those things where it's a speaker but it pops open and it's I forget what it's called, but it's I wish I really knew what it's called to describe it really best, even when you're listening. But it's you pull it apart, and it's kind of an accordion looking thing, but it's plastic, but it's a speaker.
Okay.
Our teacher used that, but not the house speakers in the fucking thing. So our sound was terrible for all the guests to hear it, right?
That's annoying.
And it was a fine experience trying to host it and all that, but then there was these 2 guys, and I forget their names, but they entered in their short films, and they were just projects, but their sound design, even without the speakers, was awful, right? It was really bad.
Yeah.
And they came up to us afterwards, after they found out we came in first place and all that, and they were like, "Oh, so you hosted and you came in first place? I smell shenanigans.
Yeah.
Like, they thought it was like a scheme or something. So I'm like, okay, good. I'm getting out of fucking high school because I don't want to have rumors that I'm like a fucking scam artist or whatever. But like oh man, it would have got bad actually. Because like people found out a little bit after that like we won first place, but like, and then what's so funny is that we're out of high school and we found out a year later someone else wanted to kind of carry on the film festival. So there was a second annual. Someone carried on whatever we started, and then that was it. There was just 2 annual film festivals. We weren't even involved with the second one anyways.
Oh. They should have invited you.
I was expecting that actually. 2 things, and then I'll move on. I don't know if you guys have anything else to say. So that summer in between high school and grade school, or high school and college, I tried to make a fucking movie called Summer Terror.
What was it about?
What is it?
It's a cross between Jaws and Seven.
Like a shark, a serial killer shark?
Land shark. No. It was a guy that was terrorizing, like a Zodiac killer, terrorizing like a beach resort town. Like Amity.
That's why.
But in a style, killing them ways that are related to summer. So like the opening scene, you know, every horror movie has like an opening kill. One girl's taking a late night dip in her swimming pool, and he just takes the solar panel and just like covers the pool with it, and the girl's like suffocating, like I can't breathe. I had this really cool shot. I want to know if you guys think this is really tense, but on the beach, I wanted like a toddler to be like running around away from its parents, and the audience knows that the killer left like a board of nails under the sand.
Yeah.
And this toddler is running towards this board of sand, like the board of like nails that's under the sand, and you're just like, oh. And it's all a red herring because one of the parents just grabs the kid right away and goes like, where you off to, like, kind of thing. I'm like, oh, I really wanted to make this. I had such a vision, and when I had all the casting ready, and guess what? I had KJ wanting to play one character that's supposed to be an adult character, all my friends, and the second they all came to my house to do like, you know, a line, like, you know, kind of a table read, and we're gonna shoot the movie the day of. Imagine doing a table read and shooting the movie the day of. And I literally said, guys, I can't do this.
Oh.
I literally said, guys, I'm canceling this fucking movie.
Oh.
Can we all just hang out? And we had a nice time. We hung out.
That's cool.
I said, I am really overextending myself. Like, this is getting too much. Like, I didn't want to quit filmmaking, but it actually scared me momentarily, and that's probably why I didn't go to fucking film school right after high school. I just kind of did, construction, like, not construction work. Like, I went to college for woodworking, right?
Which is crazy because my job in the summer between high school and film school was construction.
Again,
thanks,
whole parallel universe stuff.
Thanks, Dad. Yeah, except.
But then, you know, as, you know, if you know me best, like, what came out in 2011 in the fall? Drive. So that's kind of one movie that kind of made me go, you know what, I gotta go to film school. So, obviously we're not going to talk about film school stuff, because that's like, you know, like,
it's kind of
home movie.
outside the bounds.
But can I tell you the last movie that I made is a home movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
The very last movie I made?
Yeah, I got
And
it.
this helped me get into film school, actually, because this was the film that I sent to... Did your advisor for film school want, like, a storyboard, a movie review, and, like, a short film that you've done?
Well,
Is that how you got into school as well? Like, I didn't know if that worked differently for you guys.
For me, it was different. For me, it was, you have to have an interview, and you have to review a movie, but because at the time...
Wait, an interview, like...
They had to interview me to see if I qualify for the program.
Really? What is it, a fucking job? Just...
I don't
application?
No.
What the fuck?
But you know what? I later found out, given the caliber of some of my classmates, I'm not going to name names ever, but given the caliber of some of my classmates, if you had money, they let you in.
Pretty much.
Yeah, like, your money is too good for them to pass up. So, how it worked was, because at the time I heard about the Toronto Film School, someone who was a representative, like a rep from RCC Institute of Technology, which is the school that owns Toronto Film School, they came to my ComTech class and did this random seminar about automation and how taxi cabs are going to be replaced by, like, robot cars. That was 10 years ago, by the way.
Oh.
Uber wasn't a thing back then, but this guy was under the impression that tech was going to just overtake everything, and he said, "If you
Kinda
want to learn,"
right. He's
and
kinda
so
right.
and so, I had no idea what this would do to my life because at the time I was going through college and applications. I got an acceptance into Humber for journalism. I was my the dream was Ryerson for the film program because I wanted the university proper experience. I wanted to go to Frost Week. I wanted a, but now that I look back on it, I'm so thankful that I didn't go that way because I would have been bogged down with essays and I would have just been stressed all the time.
Mhm.
But what ultimately happened was this. So that guy who gave that talk in our ComTech class from RCC, it's like, do you want to hear more about our programs? And I said, why the hell not? Call me. And I gave them my number, and I get a call from someone who represents the Toronto Film School, and so
Okay.
then I tell them about myself. They ask to meet me, and so I go down to the school, and I told them about how I was in a ComTech class, and not only that, at the time of that meeting, I was doing a co-op semester at the Rogers TV studio in York Region. Josh was was at that same studio with me too. He could tell you all kinds of stories from that experience. But anyway, so um, now I kind of wish Josh was part of this episode. But anyway, so um, based on what I told them about everything I knew about working at Rogers, they said this. They say, we typically do an interview, but this is the thing. Just we're gonna forego the interview with you because we're so impressed with you, Evan. Write a review, pay your tuition, and you're in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's
So
just like that.
just
Wow.
like that. So
So you work for Rogers.
I did a co-op for Rogers
Oh,
TV.
so did I.
I did a co-op for Rogers TV. Okay, this multiverse theory is getting crazy.
Yeah, I didn't like it though because I lived in
know-
a small town. I had to drive like 40 minutes to the nearest city to
Oh.
work, and like,
Well, that's even. Do you want to hear something crazier? I did 2 semesters of co-op. In my first semester, the first there are 2 studios in like the immediate York region proper area. There is one in Richmond Hill, which is very
Okay.
close to where I used to live, and then there was one in Newmarket. And the only shows I was tasked to work on were in the evenings. And my mom, when my mom heard that I have a chance to actually work on a show, she said, "Evan, I want you to have this, so I'm gonna drive you every week."
oh, that's nice.
And
Yeah,
I love you, Mom.
I did a lot of games actually, hockey games, soccer games.
Yeah.
Like I would do.
Oh,
like,
so
the editing.
you did the mobiles.
Yeah, I did a mobile job. Yeah. And there was one time where like there was an interview. I forgot to flick the light on, so I had to flick the light on mid discussion. So I was like, "Fuck, I fucked that up."
Yeah.
And worst yet, that same day, we were just wrangling cable, right? So I unplug one cable, and that was for the mobile truck's data. So they almost lost the entire footage, but they had the backups. But I was
good.
like, "Oh, they should have marked that. I didn't know that."
Oh.
Frick.
Wow. Yeah, well, that's yeah. So and then
So wait, so
that's
you
how I got it. And
you had the same thing where it's like a movie. Yeah, you had Lyle. You had the same thing where it's like a movie review, a short that you've done, and a storyboard.
Something like that, yeah. Storyboard, a movie review, and I think I'd make a submission saying why I wanted to be at TFS, which was kind of cute because I did I recorded myself. I also did like a stop motion animation as well, just to sweeten the deal.
So it's weird how like all 3 of our generations, it's like one thing that carried over was the movie review.
okay, what movie
kinda
did you
strange.
review?
Oh, Pulp Fiction.
Avatar.
Reservoir Dogs, I believe.
2 Tarantino films and a James Cameron.
Yeah.
Go listen to our director's retrospect to hear more.
Yeah,
But
James
anyways,
Cameron and all that.
So my movie that I submitted, this was the last thing that I made before trying to enter into film school. I made a movie called Text Message.
Mhm.
What was it about?
I don't know if I showed you guys this one. So while I was borrowing my teacher's camera throughout high school to make all these films that I just told you about, I forgot to tell you guys. When my old camera crapped out, my parents got me a new camera that I thought, oh, this is going to be great. And I don't even remember what brand it was. It was a digital camera. Like, I can actually flip through it. It was an SD card or whatever. But awful quality. like in low light. I don't even think there was even like low light. It was just like dim all the time. It was so bad.
Yeah.
So the only time I could ever like try to actually film a movie in it is if it's like overexposed almost. Like it can never look dark. Like I can never shoot it. So I'm like, all right, unless I make a movie about heaven or whatever, and then you know, as some no pun intended, but some miracle happened as I make a little like kind of drama movie called Text Message, and it's about a young girl who it's implied that like her mom passed away and she's not dealing with it well, that she contemplates suicide. And then the inciting incident is that she gets a mysterious text message from somebody saying, help him right now. And she's like, what the hell? And then she looks outside and someone has like a heart attack on the outside of her lawn, and she runs out and saves this guy's life.
Oh, I think I've seen this one, yeah.
Yeah. So then when she traces the phone afterwards at the phone company, I don't even know if they even fucking do that, but you need some plot. I get it, whatever. They're like, this number's invalid. Like, it was probably just some coincidence or something like that. And actually, how I kind of got inspired by this story, I remember I was on the school bus one time and I heard this kid talking about how he's like, it's so crazy. My neighbor was taking a shower and like he heard a knock on the door and he thought it was somebody really like he was expecting somebody. So he's oh shit. So he runs downstairs, literally the towel around his waist still, and he like answers the door. No one's there. He's like, well, that was weird. So he's looking around like it's probably one of my friends messing around with me. But then he started to smell smoke, and it turns out that the chandelier that was hanging above his bathroom fell to the ground, and the fire latched onto the shower curtain, which ignited his whole upstairs up in flames, right? And the fire department came in. He's like, holy shit, I was just in there. So he kind of looked at it as like a guardian angel kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that story was so inspiring that I actually incorporated that exact story within text message when the guy at the company was talking to the main character. Because she's like, okay, that's a crazy story, but what does that have to do with me? He says maybe it was coincidence or maybe it was something more. So then she leaves. She's like, all right, I guess that was kind of a waste of time. But then she's like, wait a minute, and she texts mom ? And then a heart emoji gets sent back.
Aww.
And the movie should have ended right there. And I believe my uncle, because it's weird. They start having a conversation after that. Like, it's like, you have so much to live for in this world, Elizabeth. Just don't leave. Oh, I love you, Mom. Like, they start having a weird conversation, and I would have ended it in hindsight at the heart.
Yeah.
Right. And when you're talking before, Evan, about having panic attacks about editing, so I'm trying to edit this movie on some fucking weird program at home. Like I edited all my other movies, by the way, on Premiere Pro.
Oh, nice.
The ones in high school, like the Finding the Tune, Faceless, they're all on Premiere Pro. Like that was my experience. Final Cut was in film school, right?
Yeah.
I was using some weird bumfuck program and trying to use all this footage, and it's all overexposed, and it's all thematically, appropriate because it's very spiritual, this film, right? And then it crashes at the last minute, and I lost all and I didn't lose the footage, but I lost all my project, which fucking pissed me off. So I had to re-edit the whole thing all over again. I got this deadline. And then eventually I made the deadline. Then I just said, okay, I threw it on YouTube, and I'm like, hey, everybody on Facebook, whatever, I just made this short film. Check it out. And boy, did it get a humongous positive response. Everybody loved it.
Oh, that's good.
I made my dad cry in the first opening scene because, well, when I say dad, stepdad, like when I met him at that time, his mother actually had just passed away from some brain illness. I didn't get the chance to meet Wendy, rest in peace, but that's what he was thinking of, and it hit him. I'm like, I made someone cry through my short. Like, it was such a great incentive to go off into film school, and like that's text message was like the ending of the era. Like looking back, like
I'd like to see this.
I started filming myself shoving a hose up my ass, and like putting a bike tire up against my tongue. And now I'm making a short where like I'm making someone cry. I'm like, I gotta go. I'm going to film school. Like, this is it. Like, I got it. Yeah. And all I need to know is just to know a little bit more, and I got it. So like if you guys got anything else to say, I just want to close it out by saying like home movies was Red Letter Media said it best. You got to make terrible movies when you're young because you learn so much from it.
It's true. Like
True.
you guys pointed out, like I give myself more work trying to edit, like filming a screen, putting headphones over a camera to make the music. Like, what was I thinking?
But you know what it was? I think, and the way you're describing it actually was like, I think I did something similar to that, but only I think I barely mentioned this in the podcast where I would actually try to figure out like a scene from a movie, but have my own song in there. Like try to actually, but I wouldn't edit it. But you tried to record it, which was kind of fascinating. It was like, almost like you were micromanaging other sources to make your own thing, which is kind of like in its own way art. But I don't know what the quality was like. It was probably. I mean, if you film something on TV, it's not going to look good. But that's why you always got to superimpose it.
Yeah,
and that kind of that can look distracting.
Yeah.
So if you guys have anything else, I laid it all out. I'm good. I can check out.
For me, like I think you said it best. Like I didn't know. Well, I didn't actually. There wasn't any. I just said I wanted to go to film school because I wanted to study it. I had no aspirations. I was just like, I'm in school. I just want to learn. I didn't know I wanted to actually be a filmmaker until the very end of film school, and then the rest is history.
Well, wait. Aside from you guys, you mentioned you and Josh and everybody were kind of dicking around, but you didn't see the footage afterwards, whatever. But were there other like home movies that you guys had of just like you and your family get around and you're like, oh, look at us so young?
That's a question for Josh because, like, I wish. I do know that there is an audio recording of me taken when I was 9 years old in the summer of 2001. But all these home movies are distant memories. But
what about you?
What's the question? Like, is there anything else?
Well, no. Like, were there any like home movies like with your family, just like hanging out, like just recording stuff? Or...
Yeah, I mean, when I was born, they recorded it.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Other than that, yeah, not too many tapes. My parents didn't. They didn't always have the camera bug.
Somewhere in my mother's vault. Now that you mention it, my parents didn't record the day I was born, but they did record somewhere in my mom's library. There is VHS footage of me as an infant.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, it's called the videotape is marked Evan only, and it's literally taken when I was 6 months old.
Veronica, I know you're not here right now, but guys, she has over 12 hours worth of home movies with her and her family.
Oh, that's nice.
Like, because she's the middle child, she has an older sister and a younger sister. Her parents just used to rent this camera, and then eventually they bought it out. They recorded like the first day, bringing like for like Rachel, like her older sister home. Recorded a bunch of nice things, and then it's like, oh, here's Veronica, like, and it's her first day, like and then Becky, like, it was just like, wow, like they have so much coverage, and it's just like they're so lucky because like you and I, all of us here probably have like more photos than videos of growing up, right?
Yeah,
and she's
photos, yeah, I have.
And you can only go so far going, okay, yeah, like I remember that day from the photo, whatever. She has like time capsule experiences, like so much, and it's always so nice. And then it ended up being so cute where they get older, all three of them, and they're the ones holding the cameras, doing their own sort of shorts and crazy stuff, being loud and all that. Like it's like eventually they get a hold of the camera.
Yeah. I mean, my Veronica, she only has one shot of herself as a kid.
Like a still image or
no, like a shot, like a video.
Oh, okay.
And it's just her like 6 years old. Her dad is like at Canada's Wonderland, ready to perform.
Oh,
she's just like Pappy.
Aww.
Oh, that's really
she
cute.
looks, and I think I saw a picture of her and her dad when she was, I think, a little younger, but she looked adorable back then. She's adorable now.
Yeah, but I can't say. Honestly, I feel kind of bad. I kind of lost the will to record myself on video lately. Like, I think the last video I ever shot was like just something we did. Evan and I, we just did this like thing where like I could teleport by snapping my fingers.
No, actually, there's one that's on YouTube, and I've shown that to a few of my friends. They really like it.
I went through a
when I looked. I'll just when I look at the editing for that video compared to the stuff I did in high school, it's a tremendous improvement.
Good, very good. Now, there was something we filmed, but then COVID kind of destroyed a series idea we had. We were gonna do we were gonna pretend to be drunk and talk about movies, and my friend Cliff was like, "You should actually get drunk and talk about movies. That would add to the authenticity."
I mean,
Yeah,
commentaries.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Wink,
Well,
wink.
it would have been called. I don't want to
Let's drink to that.
I'll drink to that, and
That's a good title.
Josh loved it,
Yeah.
and then I was gonna. I wrote a script for us reviewing The Rise of Skywalker, and we'll show you.
No, please
Okay.
have me on to
So,
riff that.
anyways,
one. Oh.
to close this out. To close this out.
Oh, I went through a Vine phase.
Oh, actually, wait. One last thing.
I don't know. Is that home video or is that more social media? No,
Not
fuck
social
it, fuck
media.
it. Yeah,
It's
fuck it.
hybrid.
Actually,
Yeah,
Lyle,
yeah,
do you remember you and I discovered this app called Stardust, where it was like Letterboxd, but video
Stardust. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Stardust?
I did a hardcore Henry video. It was all POV.
Yep.
Stardust. I kind of lost interest in Stardust, but it essentially was
Yeah, 'cause, you know,
Stardust is it's like the TikTok of Letterboxd.
TikTok of
It can only be like
Yeah.
10 seconds long or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, to do a movie review and say something really fast. And
Yeah.
it was just
Yeah,
Your
that's all-
hardcore Henry review was awesome.
And
Thanks.
literally the thing that I said, and I say it about every single social media platform, is after a while I just say my same quote that I've always said, which is that all you do? Is this all you do? Okay.
I don't know if that was a
Yeah.
question.
No, it gets tiresome,
Yeah.
recording yourself and just talking about a movie.
Yeah.
And if you can only say 10 seconds worth, then there's not much to say.
No.
Oh, it was really good. I liked it. Johnny Depp was really good in it. Yeah. Go watch it. What can you say in 10 seconds? How can you articulate something in 10
Yeah,
seconds?
it's good you endorsed Johnny Depp, because if you would have said Amber Heard, I would have thrown my bottle at your fucking face.
Just don't poop on my bed, okay?
We don't talk about Miss Heard.
My dog stepped on a bee?
What's the
What's the sentence?
What's the context of that?
I don't understand the context. I hear it out of context. And it's like, what the fuck was she testifying?
Your dog stepped on a bee.
And then she does like a lemon juice got in my eye kind of face. Like, it looks fake. Like,
Okay.
ugh.
So how do we
end this? Well,
how do we wrap this episode?
I want to go make a movie now. I'm hyped up. I'm fired up. My ambition.
I kind of want to. Yeah.
My creative fever is through the roof now.
I want to rewatch a lot of these videos that we talked about tonight now.
I'd love to spend the night. I'm gonna show you all this crap that I did.
Great.
Okay, great. Let's have
now,
a little
let's,
film fest.
But the thing is with me, and this is when I said Cage and I are kind of like Lucas and Spielberg, I'm the Lucas. Because I have just recently been like, you know what? A lot of this stuff feels like very assembly cut. And then that was it.
Yeah.
I've now went back after having the knowledge that I have now after film school and almost making almost like a final cut of some of these movies and just adding a little bit more stuff in there to improve the film. But Lucas does the opposite. He doesn't leave great enough alone. My stuff is like crap, where I'm like, oh, if I just improve it, it'd be a kind of a cool contrast to look at what it was back then, to see what it looks like today, because of my knowledge and my perspectives now is grown.
Yeah.
So I have kind of went back and just sort of retouched some stuff, but throughout the past 2 years, and I guess I have COVID to think. One thing that I can thank the pandemic for, one thing, is that I had a lot of downtime, and I wrote 5 feature-length treatments, 2 short films. I was just about to do my series idea, but then I've been trying to. It's just I really got to be inspired to do that one.
Yeah, I was essential, so I wish I had this downtime. Although, as of this,
you're in the middle of a feature right now.
I am.
It, so
as of
that's
this,
pretty big.
let's say this: as of this recording, Lyle and I actually have caught and recovered from COVID.
Yep.
Yeah.
That downtime. No, for me, the isolation was worse than being sick. I just was stuck in my room for 6 days, too depressed to not really.
I'm
do
happy
much.
you guys it was just a nice clean recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No long-term stuff.
No long-term, no loss of senses and all
Yeah.
that. So you guys got COVID, like you do.
That's my line.
Hey, well, you said beautiful audience earlier. Fuck
Yeah.
you.
Well, fuck you. Tourette's guy.
And we're back.
And we're back. Oh, I combined all of our little tropes into one sentence.
Yeah.
It is worth mentioning, my beautiful audience. Insert dry music quote. Oh, so that's where fill in the blank. You know, like you do.
And we're back.
And we're back. There, I just combined you, us three, and Josh all into one right there.
Nice.
It is worth mentioning.
That
That's
should be a
my line.
T-shirt. That should be a little.
Yo,
T-shirt.
we should, if we ever if the show ever gets so big where we go to cons and we have open house.
I would love to have a like you do shirt.
Like you do, like you do. It is worth mentioning, Josh, and we're back, and you and
I want the revive.
You know what's interesting?
The revive text that just says "Hello, my beautiful audience."
Yeah.
Cody, you forgot. Hey, you know what's interesting?
Oh,
what's
what
interesting?
is it?
No, that's so
No,
interesting.
it's I would be with a shirt saying, "Hey, do you know what's interesting?" And all of you would wear a shirt saying, "What is interesting?"
A mug. A mug would be nice.
It's
cool.
interesting. Yeah.
Like you do. I can see
Subscribe
that.
to our channel and give us the motivation to bother making merchandise.
I almost made merch. I made merch for us.
All right.
Yeah, that was a nice Christmas gift.
Yeah. Oh no, it's back.
Oh, we spoke.
Don't even joke about that.
We soda spoke too soon.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining in, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye bye.
Take
Bye
care.
bye. Bye bye.